The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. President Bongbong Marcos brings home some 700 billion pesos worth of investment pledges and contributions from his recently concluded working visit in Japan. The president says these could generate up to 24,000 jobs for Filipinos. Ian Suyu with the details.
Arriving from his 5-day visit to Japan, President Marcos said the Philippines is successful in convincing Japanese leaders and business executives to consider Philippines as a potential investment site for their companies. The Philippines is looking at 700 billion pesos worth of investment pledges following Marcos's Japan trip. Marcos said the amount of pledges they garnered could create 24,000 jobs and help provide economic stability in the country. He also announced that the Japanese government has committed around $3 billion to aid Philippines' major projects, such as the North-South Commuter Railway that will pass through Malolos, Bulacan to Tutuban, Manila, as well as the North-South Commuter Railway project extension.
Coming back, we carry with us over $13 billion in contributions and pledges to benefit our people, create approximately 24,000 jobs, and further solidify the foundations of our economic environment. As ever, our partner Japan committed to provide infrastructure development loans for two major projects, the North-South Commuter Railway for Malolos to Tuban, and the North-South Commuter Railway project extension.
Aside from these, the government floated the possibility of entering a visiting forces agreement with Japan and a possible tripartite agreement with the United States.
We have cemented our defense and security relations. We have also covered a great deal of ground in the areas of agriculture, ICT, cooperation, and with the signing of bilateral agreements that provide the framework for enhanced mutually beneficial collaboration in many areas.
As part of the final stretch of his visit, Marcos met with the Filipino community in Japan and assured them that the Philippines will be able to open more jobs for its citizens. According to the Immigration Services of Japan, there are around 267,000 Filipinos residing there since 2021.
And while I know that they are doing well there and are very well respected in their profession, I assure them that this administration is committed to creating more job opportunities in the Philippines so that working abroad will become a career choice and not the only option available to them.
For News 5, Ian Suyu, we are One News.
The Trade Department says several investment deals with Japan are, quote, ready to go. DTI Secretary Fred Pascual said some businesses are already registered with the Board of Investments, but he also noted that other agreements may materialize in the span of 3 years.
Meron mga iba ready to go. There are those that are plans over the time horizon. I have heard from those Japanese companies you talk to goes to as long as 3 years, within 3 years. Normally, that's the time frame within which big investments are made. Hindi naman buhos bigla yan.
Pascual expressed optimism that the possible foreign investments would generate more jobs. Filipino and Japanese officials, as well as Japanese companies, have signed at least 35 investment deals on a wide range of areas, from cooperation, from infrastructure to transportation and energy.
We bring these various efforts together. That could really translate into something very significant compared to the past years. We cannot afford to be pessimistic about this because our optimism will give us the enthusiasm to work hard so we can address the bottleneck.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. The death toll from the magnitude 7.8 tremor in Turkey and Syria has breached the 33,000 mark. As the number of deaths continues to rise, the Turkish government has begun identifying suspects responsible for the collapse of some of the 1,000 of damaged buildings. This in a bid to pursue legal action over the deaths and injuries in the quake. 2 Filipinos have been found dead while search operations continue for one missing Filipina and her children. The Philippine Embassy in Ankara said it was sheltering over 50 people as of Saturday. The Filipino contingent, meanwhile, continues to aid in search and rescue operations in Adiyaman. Civil Defense Officer Jose Mangawang explained to 1PH the challenges they face on the ground.
Go ahead.
Bali, aside po dun sa threat po ng aftershocks, considering nga po na collapse po yung ibang ibang pillars po tsaka yung mga foundations po ng building, may threat pa rin po na pati po yung mga rescuers natin masama po doon sa malulubog po sa building. At the same time po, yung dahil nga po extreme weather po ito para po sa ating mga Pilipino, last night po nag-work po yung team po under negative 6 degrees temperature po. So malamig po, may health hazard po sa atin dahil po we have to work non-stop.
The United Nations has decried the failure to ship aid to earthquake-hit areas in Syria. In a tweet, UN Relief Chief Martin Griffiths said international aid has not arrived in northwest Syria. Griffiths called for the opening of more access points along the borders of Turkey and Syria. Hardline opposition groups have been reportedly hindering relief work in war-torn areas of Syria. Some of them would not allow any shipments from government-held areas. Still haven't got a date for Valentine's? Well, you're not alone. A recent SWS survey shows that 30% of Filipinos have experienced unrequited love. This means 1 out of 3 respondents have enjoyed love that was not reciprocated by a friend whom they confessed to. But if you have been turned down before, love is still very much worth pursuing, at least for a majority of Filipinos who are admittedly optimistic with their love life. Around 57% said they are very happy with their current relationships, while 25% said they could be happier, and only 17% are without love life. The survey was conducted from December 10 to 14 last year with 1,200 adults nationwide. The number of tourists visiting Boracay is expected to increase further as the island starts receiving luxury cruise ships again starting today. Camille Samonte with the full story.
Because of the coronavirus pandemic, the cruise ship industry in Boracay had been halted for almost 3 years. But now, most tourist attractions are slowly resuming normal operations, including cruise ships. A luxury cruise ship will dock at the Cataclan Jetty Port on February 13th, giving its 500 passengers a few hours to enjoy Boracay.
Ang mga Shorex natin, agent, ino-offer yung anong pwedeng maibigay ng isla. Like for example, ang island hopping, sea sports activities, and the same time yung pwedeng mag-shopping dito sa isla. Pwede rin sila rin na mag-enjoy. May mga resort tayo o hotel o may mga restaurant tayong ina-identify para doon sila pwedeng mag-dining while they are here in Boracay. They will only stay 8 hours in the island.
Some business owners in the island welcomed the return of the cruise ships. Queenie, a tour guide, immediately prepared posters for water activities and island hopping in a bid to attract tourists.
Malaki pong tulong yun na may cruise ship na darating para naman din kami is makakapag-ipon na sa daming darating na bisita by cruise ship.
About 5,000 to 6,000 tourists arrive in Boracay daily. But this number is still expected to increase with as much as 18 cruise ships expected to dock in Boracay this year.
It is our parang world tour of cruise ship. Usually, ang mga darating, karamihan dito yung Norwegian company. So, mag-iikot dito sa Asia. So, mapalad tayo ang isla ng Boracay bago ang before sa ibang lugar.
According to the Philippine Ports Authority, there are 2 cruise ships that will dock at Ilocos Sur, Palawan, and Bohol from February 9 to 14, giving the country's tourism industry an early boost this year. For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 9:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register an account now at signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.